Thank you very much, and welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV with me, Len Batopic. And this time, instead of moaning about the past, we're gazing into the future. And let me start by wishing you a happy new year. And since we've had so many requests for our predictions for this year ahead, the team here at Cats and Dogs has decided to dedicate this episode to what might happen in 2023 using our special predictive algorithms and methodology, also known as guesswork. Now let's begin with the safest prediction of all. This new year will begin with a war. Let's face it, every year begins with a war, and if it didn't, Cats and Dogs would be in big trouble, because what would we have to talk about? So let me predict the details of the conflict in January. The war will be a new one, and will be started by, wait for it, President Macron, who will seek revenge against Argentina because it defeated France in the Football World Cup final. This war begins in the streets of France, and actually it's already started there because they're fighting each other because they lost. I predict that France will in fact fight itself so violently that it will surrender to itself before they even get to Argentina. Now, here's another war prediction. Spain will declare war on Morocco on pretty much the same grounds. What happened at the quarter-final in football stage was that they lost. At the same time, the British will invade the French for beating them at the quarterfinals too. But since the UK is also fighting itself in strikes, it might also give up before it engages with the Gallic foe. This could be the first war in history where both sides surrender at the same time. Meanwhile, Germany will declare war on Japan, to whom it lost 2-1, but that won't go anywhere, basically because it's just too far to go just to have a fight. Next, I predict what will stop all these conflicts. Russia will keep refusing to give gas to Europe. Then these countries will all have to accept that Argentina did win the football, and that everyone else will have to work together to try and melt that huge, giant, icy glacier of problems, from skyrocketing energy prices and costs of living crises to plunging stocks and currencies. And I predict the weather will just not cooperate. Instead of global warming, it's going to be a cold, long winter, where the only score that really matters is the energy own goals, being scored by everyone except Argentina. My next prediction is that in 2023, it will be a very good year for Mohammed bin Salman. After the gruesome killing of Jamal Khashoggi in 2018, the Saudi Crown Prince was left alone in a state of political isolation. But little by little, he came back to the international arena. In 2021, he took over, though indirectly, Newcastle United FC. And in late 2022, the Biden administration, which had vowed to make him a pariah, decided to give him immunity from prosecution instead. So my prediction in 2023 is that we expect the Saudi de facto leader will receive a Nobel Peace Prize, especially if he stops the Yemen war in its 8th year. But what will probably happen is this. Ladies and gentlemen, the prize goes to Mohammed bin Salman. Okay, he was meant to stop one of the bloodiest wars in this century, and he did not. But hey, we gave a Nobel Peace Prize to Obama after he whacked all those people with drones. So what is the problem? And if bin Salman doesn't get it, they could always give it to the Israeli regime for not using its 90+ nuclear warheads yet. Now, turning to America, the big question is whether Biden will stand again for president or not. And this is where it gets complex. We predict Biden will get medical documents that show he's getting a little bit, how shall I put it, forgetful. But there's a catch. After he's got those papers, we won't see them because they'll forget to release the documents. And instead, he'll declare he's running for the 2024 elections. The least surprising prediction is who will be the happiest about Biden's candidature: the Republicans. But what would be Sleepy Joe's campaign slogan? We predict these possible ones. Old is gold. Make less gaffes again. Old, but not that old. Did I say that already? Remember me? I can't. Let's work until we die. At the same time, we're going to take a wild guess that Sleepy Joe's arch-rival, Donald Trump, will fight tooth and nail to take back his usurped chair in the Oval Office. We predict he'll have just one tagline: let's make the US Constitution great again. But what about public opinion? Over in the UK, I predict that to cope with energy shortages, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will introduce emergency legislation to ban snow and other cold weather. He'll also introduce a new law to solve the economic problems of the country by saying it's a legal requirement for everyone to pretend to be rich. Turning to royalty, 2023 will be the year when Harry and Meghan will finally be accepted in a land that truly values their status, where they can be prince and princess for the rest of their days. Disneyland! One more about the UK. I predict that England won't win any football cups in the whole year, and the same goes for 2024, 2025 and 2026. Sorry guys, and Harry, please keep practicing the penalties. What about the rest of the world? Well, in March, Luxembourg announces it's discovered oil. Then just after Luxembourg announces it's discovered oil, America announces its plan to send 500,000 troops to invade a rogue state in the heart of Europe, namely Luxembourg. The invasion's official code name is, "This has absolutely nothing to do with oil in any way, honest." In August, America retreats from Luxembourg after having failed to gain any territory or win any hearts and minds, except at the McDonald's near the airport. The American president says their 500,000 troops had not been ready to take on the resilience and power of the Luxembourg military, which consists of 900 professional soldiers and 200 civilians. And that's it. In September, I predict that in crisis talks over policy failures everywhere, the European Union will seek a new EU president from outside the old political circles with a proven ability to win when under great pressure and against difficult odds. The new president is announced as Lionel Messi, and France immediately leaves the EU. In October, the UK rejoins the remaining 26 European Union countries, and in November, 26 more countries vote to exit the EU. In fact, everyone apart from the UK, in what becomes known as Yuxit. And then in December, I predict we will make a Cats and Dogs special show to apologise for all the predictions we got wrong in 2023. That's all for this week. Let's see how many of my predictions come true, how many of them don't, and how many world events will be deliberately changed just to prove me wrong. That's all on Press TV in 2023 with me, Lemon Topik, and Cats and Dogs.